don't get distracted by people who are like, well, I look like you. So, just for example, I'm white, I have long hair, I have sunglasses on. If you think for 1 minute that there's like a white meeting, like right now I'm in the car and I'm driving, let's just say I'm driving to Orlando, and there's this big white meeting when I get there, and I pull out like an ID badge, and I'm like, hey, it's Corey, I'm white. And like all the white people are in this huge stadium, like Dallas Cowboy Stadium, and we all have white meetings. And we sit around and we're all equal and we're friends with each other, and we go, hey, and some speaker grabs a podium and says, today, attention all white people in the country, 200 million of you. Today we're gonna talk about how to shiest black people, or how to take advantage of Latin Americans, or how to abuse other people. That's bullshit. Don't be so seduced into these people on TV who are trying to enrage you and make it like there's this big group of people who are like, we all agree with each other. Because I'll tell you this, and I'm not a PR person, and I'm not running for office, and I don't have the temperament to hang out with other people and listen to the stupid things they say. But just think about this like an economic report. Everything I'm saying, and then to add on to that, there's no big meeting of people, there's no community, there's no like everybody is a member of a group and they flash their badge and it's like, oh, come on in, all right, like it's a big party and everybody agrees. When you say, oh, what is this guy talking about? You don't understand economics. I had this discussion with a county commissioner, mayor of a pretty big county recently in Florida, and it went something like this real fast. And it doesn't matter who. Anybody who thinks that like there's different races out to get other races, remember two things. Number one, Larry Elder said this months ago. He was doing a radio cast, and then he said, there's a survey, they do it like every 10 or 20 years. There are Americans, like 9 to 12% of Americans, when they're interviewed, they say, oh, Elvis is still alive. Now remember, Elvis Presley was born January 1935. He'd be 85-year-old man. In any segment of any population, anybody who gets polled is going to tell you these odd things. Some people, no matter what you say to them, you can reason with them. You can have the chief of physics from Stanford University tell them something, and they're still going to say, hey, Elvis is alive. Tupac is over here doing a concert. See what I'm saying? You're not going to change that. Well, it's the same thing with racism. It's the same thing with everything. You're going to get a small percentage of a population who are like, no matter what you teach me and what you say, there's still going to be 8 to 10 to 12% of any American population when they're polled, and they're going to say, no, I don't believe that, I believe this. That's number one. If you're in Georgia, you're running in the state senate, you're watching, somebody in Georgia is going to vote. They're supposed to vote on their own political economy. The second point that I'm going to wrap up is this. I said to this elected official on the phone, oh, I know the political party, me and you used to be in the same one. I used to write an economic newsletter. And he's like, all right, Mr. Arrogant, what's the point? That kind of response. And I said, the point is, why don't you, anybody who thinks that I'm lying or I'm not telling the truth or I'm some kind of like wise ass or I'm like insensitive to your special race or gender or ethnicity or religious group or how special you are, here's what you do. You pick a circuit court wherever you live, somewhere in this country, and you go and you sit in civil court. You can walk in and say, it's open to the public. You go to civil court. That's where people sue each other or companies sue each other, okay? And you walk through the metal detectors and you're welcome as a member of the public. You'll walk through, the sheriff's office will frisk you or give you the metal detector, and then you just sit in the back room for 2 hours. You will watch people suing each other over money, dissolution of businesses, people getting divorced, people ripping each other off. You watch and you observe what ethnic group or sexual preference or nationality, whatever group you want to use to like pick groups of people who screw each other over and do bad things to each other 80% of the time look the same, talk the same language, come from the same place. It's called proximity. As soon as I said that to this guy who was trying to be like, he was trying to get into with me like why I'm not on Channel 10 News explaining this whole racism thing on how to make people in South Florida so angry that they'll vote based on just somebody's skin tone. Oh my God, you're black and I'm black and we need to fight together to get the Mexicans, or the Latins are getting oppressed by all the groups of white people and we need to all just get together. It's all a con job. And that just got shut down. I mean, that conversation went, hey, thank you for your call. I understand. It's really good talking to you. Take care. If I need an economic analysis, I'll call you. That kind of thing, which was the goal. Go to a circuit court wherever you live. You can't do it on the weekend, so it's got to be during the week. Take 2 hours and sit in the back of a courtroom, and you will watch people who have committed some kind of shyst or scam or oppression or financial insolvency or some angle. Guess what? A good majority of them look the same or have similar last names, if you get my drift, or come from the same clique and neighborhood or the same profession, or they used to be married. They're not. It's not like what you might be led to believe on TV by somebody who's basically like, if I piss you off, disrespect you, and insult you, will you vote the way I tell you to vote and get me in office so I can do something that I'm never going to do? That ain't never going to help you and your kids. If you like what I'm saying, I mean, that's good. I don't ask people to subscribe or share or whatever the hell. Think about what I'm saying. That's the big thing you can do for me. Get your brain off the television watching NFL playoffs and analyze what I'm saying. If you have any questions, though, you call the 800 number anonymously and we can talk about it live on a stream. When I'm streaming, I do that once a week, or you can just comment online anonymously.